Oftentimes in your playing career, like success is very definite, right? You know exactly what was successful and what's not. Has your definition of success changed as you've now transitioned into new act?
Yes and no. I feel like success in baseball is, from an outsider's view, it's hitting the ball and getting a hit, right? I guess inside baseball, it's barrel percentage. How many times can you find the middle of the barrel and hit it as hard as you can? That kind of measures success in the minor leagues. Like a lot of people have three pillars they talk about. We talk about with the Rays, we talk about strikeout percentage, walk percentage, and then hard hit percentage. And if hard hit percentage was high and swing and miss percentage was low and walk percentage was high, you were doing well. You know, there was always kind of statistics you could measure to see other than average, because everybody was kind of going away from average the more my minor league career progressed. So in terms of that, every year it would change. My definition of success would change just a little bit based on the analytics and what those said. Like rookie ball was my average. That's all I cared about. Low A, hey, you have to hit the ball harder. What is your average exit velocity off the barrel? So that was what changed then. And then COVID hit, just tried to get as big as possible and try to hit the ball as hard as possible. And that didn't work because hitting the ball worse. So then I had to go back and figure out how to move well again, and then didn't get to play in 2022. And then 2023, my version of success was just having a blast every day. You know, I was like, after I got released in 2022, I got picked up again. I was like, oh, thank goodness I have another shot at this.
Right.
And then I didn't let one day slip by. You know, I was so happy to be out there, and I wasn't so worried about what was happening. And then all of a sudden, I never hit below 300 that whole year.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really worried about it. So it's like, it's different, and it's crazy how year to year it changes so much. And then all of a sudden, the year you're not worried about the stuff you probably should have been worried about if I was on my last leg of my career, and then you have your best year. So it's like, it's crazy how it changed. And now today, it's just like, how can I be the best person, best version of myself, and how can I be the most productive, and how can I glorify God? That's the only three things you worry about, you know. And then that, if you feel like you did a great job that day, successful day. So it's just like, it's more college. It's get your grades up, play well. And then it's like, well, grades are gone, so now you just worry about playing well. And then you put so much stock into doing that, and then you kind of go away from doing that and enjoying life, and then all of a sudden life comes back around and it's great to you. You know what I'm saying? So I think every step along that way is very important, but it's always good to change as you go. There's never one way to do it, I don't think.
Yeah. No, it's so true. And then one thing that came to mind when you were talking about the different percentages and pillars of success that were measured, if you see that hard hit percentage, strikeout percentage, and walk percentage are basically the three things you're going to be measured on by this organization that's paying your bills and determining whether or not you move up and down to the big leagues or not, it's hard not to put all your focus and energy into those end results. But it sounded like things switched up for you and got better for you when you were out there. You weren't worried about the percentages and the end results. You were there enjoying every moment and allowing yourself to be good at the process of what you were good at. And then when you take care of the things that lead into those percentages and those end results, that's typically when the results follow into what you were chasing in the first place, but you're having a lot better time doing it because you're focused on doing the actual things in the process instead of just trying to chase after an end result.
Yeah, you definitely can't cheat the process in this game, as not with many games. You know, basketball, very process-oriented, you know. If you can't skip, you're not going to hit a buzzer beater three if you don't put in the work. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe you'll get lucky at some point, but you probably won't even be in the game to do that if you don't do the process before that.
Right.
So, I mean, it's with every sport. That's why I love sports. All my kids are going to play sports, even if they don't like it. So you learn so much about the game and so much about life and so much about life skills. It's too important not to do it, in my mind.
Yeah, absolutely. One more thing on that, actually. It's completely directly applicable to your next job as a Phillies hitting coach, because your measure of success by the organization standard is going to be, okay, how well are the guys hitting? And I'm sure you're going to have different key measurements and performance indicators of how that's going to be kind of evaluated. But if you are doing all the things that help them get better and help their swing get better, and just like you were with the biscuits, if you are finding ways to communicate well the things that you know will make these guys successful, focusing on that part of it is going to lead to more benefits and dividends on the back end of it. So it's really cool to see you be able to directly and specifically use that as you go into this next act, and then wherever else it's going to lead after that. So
there's a lot of turnover in this job.
Yeah.
So like there's always new coming. If you don't do a good job, your team's not hitting well, you're probably gone. You know, it's a little bit different in the lower levels just because so much developmental with that aspect. And I don't even know if I'm going to have much say.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just my job to translate from the higher down.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this is what the higher ups are telling us. We got to hone in on this.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just a piece right now. But if you just do a good job with what you're given, you're going to be given more.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's true. It's a great point.
There's also a lot of turnover with like the play that you're going to be dealing with too, right? Like you're going to get a fresh group all the time, and then within each of those individual players, like you're looking at like very slight nuances in their swings and that kind of stuff. So like you have to be super detail oriented in that.